It's March and this is the Library Roadshow. On the show today, science, music, and we've got the blues. Welcome to the March edition of the Library Roadshow. I'm Mary Stein, and this is a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. Lots going on in March, including one of our premier events. Join us for our One Book, One Community kickoff as we celebrate the blues on Sunday, March 19th, right here at the Main Library on Goodwood. This free event will feature the music of the Michael Foster Project. Chris Thomas King, author of our featured book, The Blues, The Authentic Narrative of My Music and Culture. There will also be delicious food, games, crafts, and of course, music. After the kickoff, we'll host programs, discussions, and of course, more music throughout the library system. We've selected some companion books and music for adults, teens, and kids, and we've posted information about our featured author, including a link to his TED Talk. You can check out the complete listing of events at our special website, readonebook.org. We'll keep making music with spring concerts from the Baton Rouge Concert Band at the Main Library on March 26th and the Civic Orchestra at the River Center Branch Library on April 1st. Plus, Kids Orchestra is doing a mashup event featuring one of our One Book, One Community kids books by none other than Trombone Shorty. Our virtual author talks continue with best-selling authors David Epstein, Pam Jenoff, and Chef Gernard Wells. And Strictly Business features CEO Josh Descant talking about how to execute a successful rebranding campaign. Right Time with Boo Milton heads into session 4. A new cookbook club joins the library's book club family, and makers and gamers are throwing it down all over the place. The Sounds of Science series continues with a Sunday science presentation by Dr. Matt Penny as he takes us from the Big Bang to planet formation on March 12th. And then a day-long event for the whole family on March 25th, including a lecture on the first exciting discoveries coming out of the James Webb Telescope, a universe of stories for the kiddos, rocket stomps, the Mars truck, and an evening performance of David Walter's new work, Macrologos, with a light show and a panel of physicists and musicians. We'll wish happy birthday to Dr. Seuss as we read across America in March. And the library is brought to you by the letter L, numbers 1 through 10, and the season of spring. Speaking of spring, you can bet we'll be springing up with gardening all over the parish. The master gardeners, plant swaps, information about garden shows, and of course, the monthly garden discoveries. And then leading into spring, we've rescheduled the Baton Rouge Room series presentation, Riders on the Orphan Train, for April 4th. That promises to be a fascinating look at this era in American history. And start planning your winning entry for the Edible Book Fest on April 1st. April Fool's Day? Last year, I myself brought the Grapes of Wrath and the Very Hungry Caterpillar. I haven't decided what to prepare for this year's contest. And as always, plenty of other things to see and do at the library. Find out more in this month's issue of The Source, or check out the library's website at ebrpl.com.
Free access to books, audio, and library resources are just a few of the benefits available to you when you get a library card. Need free access to a computer? You get that. Want free access to premium digital resources like Mango Languages and lynda.com? You get that. Need to book a meeting space? You get that. Heck, you can even check out a telescope or use a digital printer with your library card. If you live in East Baton Rouge Parish, pick up your free library card from your local branch library today. Premium access to everything the library system has to offer is waiting for you.
In today's world, communication is key, and there are so many ways to communicate. For our citizens who have experienced hearing loss, reading text and reading lips are not the only options. American Sign Language helps bridge that gap. The library has occasionally offered sign language classes, but we were interested in offering folks a platform that could be accessed remotely from home at your convenience. And we found that in a resource called Signing Savvy. It's time to find out more in the digital download.
Signing Savvy is your complete sign language resource. Signing Savvy includes a sign language dictionary containing several thousand high-resolution videos of American Sign Language (ASL) signs, fingerspelled words and other common signs used within the United States and Canada. The clear and concise videos are keys to an engaging learning experience with a visual language. Signing Savvy also includes a host of resources and tools to use while learning sign language, such as the ability to build custom word lists and share them with others, create virtual flashcards and quizzes, build sign phrases, and more. There are also downloadable handouts that are great for young learners. The best part is, a Signing Savvy account is free with your library card. There's even a mobile app so you can learn on the go. Find all our language learning resources in the digital library at ebrpl.com.
Language learning of all types, Mango, Pronunciator, Muzzy for the kiddos, and now Signing Savvy have you just seen. Plus special platforms like the Kurzweil Firefly app to convert text to speech. Check it out at your library. Let's shift gears now and go beyond the stacks.
My name is Linda Midget. I'm the executive producer at Louisiana Public Broadcasting, and I'm the executive producer of Why Louisiana Ain't Mississippi or Anyplace Else, and also the director and producer. Today we are at the Goodwood Library in East Baton Rouge Parish, and we are about to do a behind-the-scenes screening and conversation of Why Louisiana Ain't Mississippi or Anyplace Else.
I'm Jay Darden. I'm the writer and creator of Why Louisiana Ain't Mississippi or Anyplace Else. It's an original creation that was inspired by a fellow named Jerry Doty, who was a demographer, a pollster, a raconteur of Louisiana, and who talked about Louisiana's economy and its culture. And I heard the presentation he made, and we were very good friends. He was my political consultant. I was his lawyer. And when he was ill, before he passed away, I told him, Jerry, I'd really like to take what I've learned for you and expand it into a program. And so that's what I did. And that's when Why Louisiana Ain't Mississippi was born. It's a live presentation I do to leadership groups and conventions and what have you across the state. And I always wanted to put it on video and talk to LPB, and we decided it would be a great thing, a great project for LPB, and that's how it was. The TV show version of the live presentation was created.
This is a 4-hour tour de force that really talks about the culture and history of Louisiana, what makes the state so unique, sort of the good, bad, and the ugly. But we really look at how everyone got here and how they've blended into this human gumbo, if you will. So tonight at 7 o'clock, there's a behind-the-scenes conversation. We're going to talk about the making of it and just share some fun stories that people may not know.
There were literally dozens of wasps up on that floor. And if you've seen the show, we talk a lot about wasps in the show, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, who were not the original people who settled Louisiana. That's a big part of this story, that Louisiana primarily was settled by Catholics, European Catholics and Africans who did not come here voluntarily. And the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, some of you in the audience no doubt forebears, were the last kids on the block to get here at the time the Louisiana Purchase. But it was pretty funny, and I had my camera and I kept trying to shoot the wasp. I mean, get the picture of the wasp, because I was going to text it to everybody and say, this is perfect. We've got wasps up at the top of the cabinet. So I'm donating one of the books to the library, and I just wrote a little note on there thanking them for enriching the lives of all their patrons, and particularly for encouraging young people to enjoy the adventures of reading. And I think that's such an important part of young people's life. It was a big part for me growing up. I was a voracious reader as a child, and that helped prepare me for my career.
We loved having LPB and Jay Darden in the house. After viewing this wonderful documentary, I fell in love with Louisiana all over again. Stay right there. After the break, Tamika Roby joins me for a chat, right here on the Library Roadshow.
The East Baton Rouge Parish Library believes that preparing children to enter kindergarten is good for us all. That's why we created Press Start, an early learning initiative that provides a free activity booklet every month that explores early literacy skills through play and interaction at home. Get a library card. Sign up for Press Start at ebrpl.com/kids.
You're watching the March edition of the Library Roadshow, everything you need to know about your local library system. Now, we show you lots of photos of programs in and around our 14 library branches, but we've also got a whole crew that goes out and about, bringing the library to you, wherever you are. Tamika Robey joins me now to catch me up on what the Outreach Service Department is up to. Okay, Tamika, one of our slogans, or maybe it's your slogan, is "That's the way we roll." And you literally do that with our small, agile fleet of vans and bookmobiles. Where exactly do you roll?
Mary, we go all across the parish. We go from the tip of the north all the way down to the south. We see children, we see adults, we see those teenagers in between. We visit schools, we visit nursing homes and daycares, and even Mama's house.
That's
so
right.
So you can find us anywhere in the parish 7 days a week, actually.
Sometimes I'm driving on a road and there you are, I always honk or wave. What makes a bookmobile special? Because people just wax nostalgic about it.
They actually do. We often have people that come to the bookmobile and they tell me all the time how they remember when they were children and it was the highlight of their summer. We try to provide services for everyone, those that are well-rounded and can maneuver their ways around the society, and those that don't. People that are faced with homelessness. We also can provide services for those patrons. People of different socioeconomic strata. We also provide services for everyone equitably. We believe in being equitable, so we want to give a hand up to those that need it, and we can hand things out and help with items and selections for books and other things.
Right.
Recently, we've also been engaging with students at various charter schools that don't have libraries on campus, so we're able to help them with their literacy efforts as well. So we're always looking for ways to reach out to the community and the things that they're looking for. We're partnered with the mayor's office for their safe and hopeful ecosystems, and they're also doing a safety class right now where the library has actually gone out with them and we physically walked, we rolled on the streets, and we knocked on doors. We met people where they were to see exactly what they needed and how the library could help them with those services.
Reference, referral, resources, a lot of R's there.
Yes.
Rolling along. All right, well, to me, you and the rest of the team are literally library love on wheels. And I want to thank you for everything you do to introduce the library to those who, for whatever reason, have not made it into one of our brick and mortar buildings.
Oh, thank you so much. Our staff, I've been blessed with great library staff. They are dedicated. They are
mission driven,
and they are ready to get the good times rolling on their bookmobile.
All right, here we go. After the break, author Michelle Jackson, plus a book review from one of our younger library patrons. All that and more coming up next on the Library Roadshow.
The East Baton Rouge Parish Library believes that supporting the education of students is good for us all. That's why we provide access to live, in-person, online tutoring through Homework Louisiana, make available free test preparation tools through Learning Express, plus reference tools for all ages. Get a library card. Get free education at ebrpl.com/homeworkhelp. Access to data is good for us all. That's why we provide free online access to data access reference solutions. Get a library card. Get access to data at ebrpl.com/digital-library.
Welcome back to the March edition of the Library Roadshow. Parents everywhere will love my next guest. She's written a book that aspires to inspire kids to become entrepreneurs. Michelle Jackson joins me now by phone to introduce her latest book entitled Poppi Makes Cajun Popcorn Magic. Michelle, how did you get your start as an author?
I have always wanted to be an author. I grew up loving books. I would read books from at the age of 10. I mean, I was very big on reading and writing, and I mean, I would just get lost in books by Maya Angelou and Alice Walker and Richard Wright and Alex Haley. I was just someone who's very passionate about writing, and I knew that at some point I wanted to write a book. But I was young, and so I would do things like write poetry and send it off to magazines, and I would write little stories, and it just led me down a path of writing. I spent my career writing to some capacity. I have a PR firm now, and I've written policy. Those things were not creative writing. So it wasn't until I turned 35 years old that I decided to pen my first book, The Heart of a Man, which is a Christian fiction novel. And my second book was released in 2020, which is called From Darkness to Night, women's fiction. And my last book, Poppi Makes Cajun Popcorn Magic, is a comic book.
What is Poppi Makes Cajun Popcorn Magic really about?
Poppi Lafitte, she is from New Orleans, and she is 18 years old. She's an aspiring entrepreneur. She wants to create a Cajun popcorn seasoning company. She's not sure what to do. And so she gets in line with a teacher of her brother's teacher, a fifth grade teacher who was also a business mentor. And she learns all the different steps needed in order to start a successful company. It walks you through registering your business with the city and state, to supply chain management, to how to hire, to understanding how to get funding for a business. So it's for youth and young adults, but these are youth and young adults. Actually, it's for everyone, because it's for anyone who wants to start a business.
What inspired you to write Poppi Makes Cajun Popcorn Magic?
Years ago, my husband's in the military, so we move around a lot. Before we moved here to New Orleans, I was working with a youth entrepreneurship program, and I just fell in love with the idea of helping young people start businesses. And so I started my own online competition called I Invest, where we gave out $10,000 to youth business owners and put them through a 6-month training process. And so Poppi is kind of a spin out of that I Invest initiative, because I wanted to make sure that we were providing the information needed for our young people to be successful business owners. We know that starting a business can change the trajectory for a community. It can help communities and families gain generational wealth. We know that our business owners are job creators. They are innovators. They are the future. And so if we definitely want to make sure they have the tools they need in order to be successful. And I thought doing it in a fun way, like a comic book, would make it an easy read and will allow our youth as well as teachers to be able to teach about business development.
What advice would you share with other aspiring authors?
I would say to our aspiring authors to keep writing, to never give up, to do everything they can to make sure they're putting out good work, whether they are traditionally published or self-published, to make sure that they have a standard in writing, that they, work with professional editors and book designers, and take it serious, because this is our legacy. These books are going to outlive us. They're going to be here in 50 years and we're all possibly gone, or 100 years or so on. This is going to be the legacy that we leave for ourselves and our families. And so we should definitely take it serious and make sure that we're putting out great work, but never stop writing. If it's your passion, you should continue to do it, because the world needs to hear your voice.
How can our viewers learn more about you?
If people want to learn more about my books, they can go to www.authormichelledjackson.com. You'll be able to see all 3 of my books, The Heart of a Man, From Darkness to Night, and Poppi Makes Cajun Popcorn Magic, the 10-step guide to building a successful startup. I hope that everyone will get a chance to purchase the books and connect with me. I also make myself available to come out to schools to go through an entrepreneurship workshop with students if they're interested in doing that. If that's possible, they can always reach me at events@prsolutionllc.org. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. Let's hear it for our culinary entrepreneurs. Now it's time in the show to check in with one of our younger patrons to find out what they've been reading at the library.
Hi, my name is Carter. My favorite book is Dr. Seuss. 1 fish, 2 fish, red fish, blue fish. Black fish, blue fish, old fish, new fish. She on has a little star. She on has a little car. My Mimi brings me to the library. I come to the library and I like to play the games at the library and play with the toys at the library. I want to listen in those earphones.
Thanks, Carter. It's great to see even our youngest make good use of the library system. Stay right there. You're watching the Library Roadshow.
The East Baton Rouge Parish Library believes that access to data is good for us all. That's why we provide free access to data axle reference solutions so you can find employment through job search, gather industry information to guide your business insights, get a library card, get access to data at ebrpl.com/digital library.
You're watching the March edition of the Library Roadshow, a production of your East Baton Rouge Parish Library System. Reading is always a good choice. That's why we like to host programs that inspire kids to pick up a book and learn about a subject. And nothing inspires a kid more than a dinosaur.
Kids have been meeting animals at the libraries for years. Dogs, pigs, police horses, snakes. But has your kid ever met a dinosaur? We're here at the Pride Cheneyville Branch Library to fix that. Let's check it out.
Everybody's awake, that's a good thing. Come in, sit down. We're gonna have lots of fun. So my name is Martin, Ranger Martin, and I'm here from a company called the Dinosaur Experience. The Dinosaur Experience is a show that we bring to schools and libraries and summer camps and birthdays where we bring dinosaurs to life a little bit, we have lots of fun, and we educate at the same time. So we call it edutainment. We trick the kids into learning things whilst they're having lots of fun. So today we're at the Pride Cheneyville Library, and we start off with a little talk about dinosaurs, and we ask the children what their favourites are, that sort of thing. And then we go into how we know that dinosaurs were real, and then we explain to them about fossils, and we show them a few little fossils that we brought along. We show them like a T-Rex tooth and a claw, and that sort of thing. We show them what fossils are, and they get to see and touch those. From there, we then introduce our baby T-Rex. Now, he's very mischievous, very naughty, he's so young, and he tends to bite me, which the children kind of think is hilarious, because he's very mischievous. And then after that, we bring out Nash. He's our 15-foot T-Rex. He walks around, and the children all get to be dinosaur rangers, so they get to train him, which of course goes wrong, and they think it's all hilarious when all that happens as well. Coming to the libraries like this is absolutely fantastic. The way that they allow children who may not have the opportunity to see something like what we do, unless you're going to travel to Florida and go to Disney, that sort of thing, we can actually bring it to you in your local area. So the libraries provide such a vital thing for some of these children that would never have that opportunity, so they can come and experience what we do.
You can find more programs like this in the Source newsletter every month or on the website at ebrpl.com.
So cool. Kids had a great time at the Dinosaur Experience. You can bet we'll ask them to come back. And don't forget that the library can set you up with print as well as online resources to keep feeding the curiosity of your own little scientists.
Hello, my name is Jamez Alexander. I am an actor and teaching artist, and I am here at the East Baton Rouge Library, and I'm with Parables in Motion.
This is one of the hard ones. Comes from the heart. I have to get in the character for this. Goes. If you're sad and you know it, say boo-hoo. If you're sad and you know it, say boo-hoo. If you're sad and you know it, and you're not afraid to show it. If you're sad and you know it. I'm going to deal with a lot of feelings. Say boo.
Today, we're going to experience the actor's lunch break. So I used the tools of drama to teach life lessons that helps promote social emotional learning and healthy eating and active living.
And who's here? See that? Say it again. Bella? Bella, Bella, Bella's in our room today. And who is our friend right here?
This program, really, I have a version of it for all ages. Today, we're focused on ages 5 through 11. So we're going to talk about using our imagination, our body, and our voice. When we use our imagination, they get to make their very own custom story today and interact and act it out. Then we're going to talk about why we need to put proper fuel into our body. So we play a game called Lunch Break, where it's like Family Feud, but it's family food. And we go through the 5 food groups and we have a fun game of it. And then we end with voice, not just how you pronounce words, but posture and how you speak. But we end with the question, if the world would listen, what do you have to say? And they get to say whatever they want.
My name is Jamez Alexander. I am a professional actor and teaching artist, and you have just entered the actor's lunch break. Now, I have some secrets. I have some tools. I have some things I'm going to share with you. But before I do it, you have to know the password.
Well, I think the library systems are very important because sometimes they're a sanctuary for a lot of people where they could come and not only get nourishment for their bodies like at some after-school programs, but here they get the best food in the world, and it's all these books. I tell them you have to read your books to get your imagination stimulated. There's so much. I tell my teens, I'm like, hey, turn off the drill music for a second, read a book, and see if you still view the world the same way after you're done.
Clap your hands. Great job. Give yourselves a round of
This
applause.
was another standout performer that we're definitely going to ask back. I heard the giggles from halfway down the library. And now for today's contest. Visit the library's Facebook page at facebook.com/EBRPL. I'd like to hear the little dinosaurs in your own house roar. That's facebook.com/EBRPL. And while you're there, enjoy. We're not your grandfather's library anymore. What's coming up on the Library Roadshow in April? Well, more One Book, One Community, of course.
Tune into the show next month and I'll share another free resource from inside the digital library at ebrpl.com.
Tune in next month and I'll share another fantastic library program with you.
Thanks so much for joining us on the Library Roadshow. And remember, your East Baton Rouge Parish Library is open 7 days a week at each and every one of 14 branches, plus 24/7 on the web. Check us out at ebrpl.com.